When God gives you a vision, it's not meant for everyone's ears. What he whispers in your spirit is sacred, and when you speak too soon, you expose it to the wrong atmosphere. There are people who won't understand it, some who will doubt it, and others who will try to destroy it before it's born. That's why divine plans thrive in silence. Every great move of God begins in hiddenness. Before Joseph became a ruler, he was a dreamer, but when he shared his dream too early, it stirred jealousy and betrayal. His mistake wasn't dreaming, it was revealing before the right season. God still fulfilled his plan, but the process was longer and harder because the dream was exposed before it matured. The same principle applies to you. Not every word from heaven is meant for open discussion. Some visions are too delicate to be shared until they take root in your faith. Silence isn't weakness, it's spiritual strategy. When you keep quiet about what God is doing, you give him space to complete his work without interference. The enemy can't attack what he doesn't know. When you keep your plans in God's hands, they remain shielded. Too often, we talk ourselves out of miracles by announcing them prematurely. We post them, boast about them, and celebrate what hasn't even sprouted yet. And in doing so, we invite negativity, doubt, and spiritual warfare we weren't prepared to face. But when you stay quiet, you give your dream a chance to grow in peace. You let God prove himself without the noise of human opinion. The process of preparation is private because that's where faith is forged. When God is shaping you, he does it behind closed doors. The unseen seasons are not punishment, they are protection. You may feel forgotten, but heaven is working. Every delay, every moment of silence is a setup for divine unveiling. When the time is right, what God has been building in secret will speak for itself. The fruit will prove the favor. The blessing will make the announcement for you. Your results will be louder than any explanation you could ever give. There's power in letting your actions reveal what your mouth never had to announce. Look at Jesus. He didn't go around advertising every miracle he would perform. Often he said, "Tell no one." Why? Because he understood timing. He knew that exposure too early invites opposition too soon. Even heaven waited for the appointed time to reveal the Son of God to the world. The same God who operates by divine timing is working in your life now. You don't need to convince anyone that you're called. You don't need to justify your process. Stay quiet, stay focused, stay faithful. When you keep your next move between you and God, you protect your destiny from sabotage. People can't manipulate what they don't know. There's something powerful about being unpredictable under divine direction. The world may think you're standing still, but in reality, you're being positioned. Your silence will confuse your enemies because they won't know what to attack. Your patience will disarm them because they won't know when you'll move. And when God finally says, "Now," you'll rise suddenly, with strength, with clarity, and with undeniable proof that his hand was on your life the entire time. Every dream needs a season of secrecy. Just like a seed buried in the soil, it must remain hidden before it can grow. If you dig it up too early, it dies. Don't ruin what God is growing by exposing it to air before it's strong enough to survive. The soil of silence is sacred ground. That's where roots are formed, deep roots that no storm can uproot. Let your silence become your strategy, your stillness become your strength. You owe no one an explanation for what God is building in you. When the right moment comes, God himself will reveal what he's been doing in your life. He will prepare a table before you, not in private, but in the presence of those who once doubted you. And when that day comes, you won't even need to speak. The doors that open, the favor that follows, the peace that surrounds you, those will be your testimony. Your obedience in silence will become your loudest praise. So, protect your next move. Don't rush to announce what heaven is still arranging. What's coming is bigger than you imagine, but it requires wisdom, patience, and silence. Keep quiet, keep praying, and keep walking. When the time is right, the world will see what heaven already knows. You were chosen, you were prepared, and you were built for the promise. Your relationship with God is the most sacred bond you will ever have, and it's not meant to be public property. It's something deeply personal, spiritual, and wholly a private conversation between your soul and your Creator. In a world that glorifies exposure, where everyone wants to prove how spiritual they are or how close they are to God, the true power of faith lies in quiet intimacy. The depth of your relationship with God cannot be measured by how much you talk about it, but by how much you live it. It's not the loud prayers in public that move heaven. It's the silent tears shed in secret that touch the heart of God. God doesn't need you to broadcast your faith. He needs you to walk in it. When you spend time with Him in private, something supernatural happens. He begins to strengthen your spirit, align your purpose, and pour wisdom into your heart. The kind of peace that comes from that secret place cannot be explained, only experienced. You don't need to convince anyone that you hear from God. The fruit of your life will make it clear. The way you handle storms, the peace you carry in chaos, and the grace you show under pressure, those are the true signs of divine intimacy. When you constantly talk about your spiritual encounters or visions, you invite opinions into something that was never meant to be discussed. Some people won't understand your relationship with God because they haven't walked your pain, your wilderness, or your process. They'll misinterpret what you say, question your faith, or even mock your devotion. That's why God tells you to be still, because He knows that revelation in the wrong environment loses its purity. Protect your divine encounters. Protect your prayer moments. Protect your spiritual growth from the noise of the world. Your secret place with God is your power source. Just as no one can see the roots of a tree, but they sustain its strength, no one needs to see your private devotion for it to be real. In that hidden place, God teaches you lessons the world will never understand. He heals your wounds, renews your mind, and gives you clarity that no preacher, friend, or prophet could ever provide. The intimacy you share with God becomes the anchor that keeps you steady when life tries to shake you. So protect it fiercely. Don't allow anyone to turn your personal walk into public entertainment. Even Jesus, the Son of God, often withdrew to lonely places to pray. He didn't seek the crowd when He needed the Father. He understood that the greatest power flows from private connection, not public approval. And that's the same lesson you must carry. The more time you spend with God in silence, the louder His presence becomes in your life. People will notice something different about you, not because you announce it, but because your spirit radiates peace, strength, and divine wisdom. The more you keep your walk with God sacred, the more He will elevate you quietly. Sometimes God will hide you in a season of spiritual growth to protect what He's building inside you. You might feel unseen, unheard, or misunderstood, but that's part of His plan. He's shielding you from distractions so He can reveal Himself more clearly. And when that revelation comes, you'll understand that silence wasn't isolation, it was preparation. He was teaching you how to depend on His voice alone, not the approval or opinions of others. That kind of relationship cannot be explained, it can only be lived. When you truly know God, you don't need to shout it. Your peace becomes your testimony, your calm becomes your confidence, your character becomes your sermon. People will see the evidence of God's hand in your life without you ever having to say a word. That's the beauty of divine intimacy. It shows itself without needing to prove itself. So, guard your relationship with God like a hidden treasure. Don't let social pressure make you perform your faith. Don't seek validation for your spirituality. The world rewards exposure, but heaven rewards secrecy. When you honor your private moments with God, He honors you publicly. What you build with Him in prayer, He reveals through purpose. And when others wonder how you keep rising, smiling, and surviving, they won't understand that it's not luck or strength. It's the quiet power that comes from walking hand in hand with the one who created you. Your relationship with God doesn't need an audience, it needs authenticity. So, stay humble, stay private, and stay connected. The quieter your walk, the louder your blessings will speak. Because when your heart belongs to Him, you don't have to prove your faith. You just have to live it. Money can reveal more about your character than almost anything else. When God begins to bless you financially, it's not just a sign of favor, it's a test of wisdom. Some people can handle storms, but very few can handle success. That's why God often hides prosperity behind process. He wants to see if you can stay humble when He starts lifting you higher. When He increases your resources, He's not just giving you comfort, He's giving you responsibility. What you do with what He gives determines whether He can trust you with more. And one of the most important lessons He teaches in seasons of increase is this: never expose everything you earn and never boast about what He's given you. Financial blessings are sacred. When God opens doors, expands your territory, and begins to multiply your efforts, He expects discretion. Not everyone will celebrate your success. Some will envy it, others will question it. Some will even try to take advantage of it. That's why silence is your protection. What people don't know, they can't manipulate. When you talk too much about your financial life, how much you make, what you have, what you're buying, you invite unnecessary attention and spiritual warfare that can drain both your peace and your purpose. There is wisdom in quiet prosperity. When you learn to move in humility, your blessings last longer. The moment you start flaunting what God gave you, you shift the focus from His glory to your ego. That's when favor starts fading. Remember, God resists the proud, but gives grace to the humble. The world may teach you to show off what you have, but heaven teaches you to show gratitude through stewardship. Let your giving speak louder than your boasting. Let your generosity be your testimony. True wealth is not measured by what you display, but by what you use to make a difference. Think about Joseph again. When he became second in command over Egypt, he didn't flaunt his authority, he managed it wisely. He didn't use his position to impress people, he used it to save nations. That's what divine prosperity looks like, purpose over pride. God blesses you to be a blessing, not to be worshipped by what you own. Every dollar that flows through your hands is an opportunity to serve the kingdom. When you manage it with humility, God multiplies it. When you misuse it for validation, it becomes a curse in disguise. You must learn to live quietly even when you're walking in abundance. Not every blessing requires a broadcast. There's power in being low profile but highly impactful. There's wisdom in being financially strong but spiritually grounded. People who brag about wealth often lose it trying to maintain appearances, but those who protect their blessings with silence and prayer keep increasing because they've proven trustworthy. The less you speak about your resources, the more God can expand them without interference. There's also a spiritual dimension to financial privacy. When you keep your financial life discreet, you close the door to greed, jealousy, and comparison. You give yourself the freedom to use your money with purpose instead of pressure. When you're not trying to prove anything to anyone, you can truly enjoy the peace that comes with provision. God doesn't bless you so you can impress people who don't care about your journey. He blesses you so you can impact lives, build legacies, and glorify Him through good stewardship. So, if you're in a season where God is expanding your financial capacity, move with wisdom. Don't share every detail of your income or investments. Don't boast about your purchases or your prosperity. Keep your finances between you, God, and those He's assigned to your destiny. The wealth He gives you isn't for showing off, it's for showing gratitude. The more you handle His blessings with secrecy and humility, the more He will trust you with overflow. And if you're still waiting for financial breakthrough, prepare your heart now. because when it comes, it will test your maturity. Ask yourself, can I stay humble when I have everything I prayed for? Can I still give when I don't have to? Can I manage wealth without letting it manage me? These are the questions that separate those who prosper temporarily from those who build lasting impact. Remember, true success is not loud, it's stable. It doesn't need to shout to be seen. When God blesses you, stay grounded, stay grateful, and stay wise. Protect what He gives you by guarding your silence. Your bank balance doesn't define your worth. Your stewardship does. Money is temporary, but character is eternal. And when heaven sees that you can handle abundance without arrogance, God will pour out blessings so great that even your silence will speak of His goodness. There are seasons in life when the battle you are fighting is too deep to be shared, when the pain you carry is too heavy to explain, and when the healing you need is still in process. That is not the time to talk, that is the time to trust. When you are still walking through the fire, your focus must be on God, not on getting people to understand what you're going through. The truth is, not everyone deserves access to your struggle. Some will misunderstand it, some will minimize it, and some will use it against you. That's why God often tells you to be still, because in the stillness, He does His greatest work. Silence in the storm is not weakness, it is wisdom. When you're still healing, your heart is fragile and your faith is tender. Words from the wrong people can bruise what God is trying to mend. Sharing your struggle before the process is complete invites opinions that can disrupt your peace. Everyone loves to speak into your story, but not everyone carries your spirit. Some will give advice without understanding your anointing. Others will judge your pain without knowing your purpose. When you're in a season of refining, protect your soul. Let your heart heal in the quiet. Don't let the noise of the crowd drown out the voice of God. There are things only you and God can understand right now. The nights you cry yourself to sleep, the prayers you can't even form into words, the moments when faith feels like your only breath, those are not for the world to see. That's sacred ground. Those are holy moments between you and your Creator. And one day, those same tears will become your testimony. But right now, it's not time to share, it's time to strengthen. You are being rebuilt from the inside out. God is not punishing you, He's purifying you. He's removing what can't go with you into your next season. He's replacing pain with power and confusion with clarity. You have to understand that exposure too early can kill what God is growing. Just like a wound that's still open, your story needs time to heal before it can be revealed. If you expose it too soon, you risk infection, the infection of gossip, misunderstanding, and negativity. But when you let God finish the healing process in private, the scar that remains will carry power, not pain. Your healed heart will become the very instrument He uses to heal others. But that kind of strength only comes from silence, surrender, and time. Even Jesus had moments of divine solitude. In His darkest hours, He didn't share everything with everyone. He withdrew to pray alone, to find strength in the Father. There's a lesson in that. When your spirit feels crushed, don't run to people for validation, run to God for restoration. The opinions of others can't fix what only grace can heal, and the peace you're searching for will not come from explaining your situation. It will come from surrendering it completely. Sometimes the reason God isolates you in a season of struggle is because He doesn't want anyone taking credit for your breakthrough. He wants it to be undeniable that it was Him who carried you through. The silence you're in is not the absence of His presence, it's the evidence of His protection. He's covering you, shaping you, and preparing you for the day when your testimony will touch lives. But if you speak too soon, you risk giving away the story before it's finished. So hold your peace and let God work. Let the process unfold in quiet. Not every season is meant for speaking. Some are meant for surviving, some for healing, and some for listening. God is saying, "Be still and know that I am God." When the time is right, He will give you the words to tell your story, and when you do, it will carry the anointing of someone who truly overcame. One day, you'll look back and thank God for the seasons of silence. You'll realize that your isolation was your incubation. You weren't being hidden for punishment, you were being hidden for protection. And when the time comes for your story to be told, it will no longer come from a place of pain, but from a place of power. People will listen not because you spoke loudly, but because you lived faithfully. They'll see the strength in your eyes and the peace in your spirit and know that God was with you all along. So don't rush to explain what God is still healing. Don't justify what heaven is still arranging. Stay quiet, stay patient, and stay close to Him. The time will come when your story will inspire nations, but until then, let God finish writing it. Your silence today is the soil for your strength tomorrow. And when you finally speak, your words will carry the weight of someone who didn't just survive, they overcame with God's help. Your dreams are sacred. The visions God places in your heart are not random thoughts or passing ideas, they are divine seeds planted in the soil of your spirit. But just like any seed, they must be protected while they grow. You cannot expose them to everyone, because not everyone will understand them. Some will doubt you, some will discourage you, and some will try to destroy what you're building before it even begins. That's why when God gives you a dream, your first responsibility is not to announce it, it's to guard it. The dream is between you and the one who gave it until He says it's time for the world to see. When Joseph received his dream, he made the mistake of sharing it too soon. He told his brothers that God had shown him visions of greatness, and what happened? Envy rose up. Jealousy turned to hatred, and they tried to kill him. But what they didn't know was that the dream came from God, and no human could destroy what heaven had ordained. Yet Joseph's story reminds us of a crucial truth. Premature exposure invites unnecessary opposition. There are seasons when silence is not fear, it's strategy. Some dreams must be developed in the dark before they can shine in the light. When you share your vision too early, you open the door for doubt to take root. Words of unbelief from others can suffocate your faith before it matures. Protecting your dream means guarding your mind and your mouth. Speak life over what God has shown you, but don't hand it to people who don't have the spiritual maturity to see what you see. You're not obligated to explain your calling to those who can't understand your purpose. Sometimes, even the people closest to you won't see what God is doing in your life, and that's okay. It wasn't their dream to begin with. The enemy can't steal a dream he doesn't know exists. That's why God often hides your vision behind ordinary moments. You may feel unseen, overlooked, or underestimated, but that's divine protection. God hides His greatest works in seasons of obscurity. He's shaping your character before He showcases your calling. He's strengthening your faith before He fulfills your vision. The silence, the waiting, the isolation, it's not punishment, it's preparation. He's making sure your foundation can handle the weight of your destiny. Never feel pressured to prove your potential. God's promises don't need public approval to come to pass. What's born in private will be revealed in power. You don't need to convince people that God has chosen you. Your results will speak for themselves. The time will come when the dream that once seemed impossible will become undeniable proof of His faithfulness. Until then, work quietly, pray fervently, and trust completely. God is the author of your story, and He knows exactly when to turn the page. There's a reason diamonds form in the dark and seeds grow underground, because greatness doesn't need an audience to develop. The same is true for your dream. You may feel hidden now, but you're being refined. Every delay is shaping your discipline. Every setback is building your strength. Every silent season is teaching you to depend on God more than on validation. When the time is right, He will bring you before the right people, open the right doors, and align the right opportunities. And when that moment comes, no enemy, no critic and no circumstance will be able to stop what he has ordained. So if you're carrying a God-given dream, protect it fiercely. Don't let fear or doubt make you share it prematurely. Not everyone who claps for you is rooting for you. Some people only celebrate you until your success threatens their comfort. Let them wonder, let them assume. You don't owe explanations to those who don't understand your vision. Your silence will speak louder than your words when your breakthrough arrives. Keep nurturing the dream in prayer. Keep sowing in faith even when you see no results. Keep believing even when no one else does. What God whispered to your heart in the quiet will one day echo in the world with power. You are not behind, you are being built. And when the dream unfolds, it will be clear that it wasn't your strength that made it happen, it was His hand. The dream that God placed inside you is proof that you are destined for more. Protect it, guard it, and honor it. Don't let voices of doubt destroy what heaven designed. Your job is to believe it, prepare for it, and let God perfect it. Because when the season of revelation comes, the same people who questioned you will witness what faith and silence can produce. The dream will speak for itself, and its voice will glorify the God who gave it.